Hello and welcome to Time of Day for Transatlantic Wargaming Podcast, brought to you by Break for Assault. I'm Neil Parnell, recording from somewhere in the south of England, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host Mike from sunny LA. Mike, is it sunny?
No, it's cloudy today. It's actually drizzling
Wait,
ever so
is it
slightly.
sunny is it sunnier in Brighton? I am
No,
shocked. It is.
the governor has declared a state of emergency. It is drizzling ever so slightly in Los Angeles. The
It's
National Guard is
spitting. Save
scrambling to deploy
yourself.
flood barriers.
Oh, oh
We
dear.
don't know what to do. There have been 75 crashes in the last 5 minutes on the 5 freeway.
There's
The
literally
405
millimeters
is
of
in
rain.
flames.
But yeah, but it's been a while since we've done one of these. I was shocked when I looked at when the last recorded one. So
Yes, work has turned me into a pulp.
I mean, I was going to blame Battlefront for not actually putting releases out, but yeah, sure work. It's
I have bills to pay.
but also it's been a dry old spell of late for releases to spur us on. But that's
We
all
didn't even talk
changed.
about Clash of Steel or Late War Leviathans.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna put it out there. I actually enjoyed the game of Clash of Steel I played versus Eddie, but you can't really do a tier list of two boxes. It's a
That's true, but did you enjoy Clash of Steel because Clash of Steel is good, or do you enjoy it because you like playing games with Eddie?
Well, that's what I was worried about. You know, Eddie is always the font of wargame optimism. It's hard not to enjoy a game when you're playing him. But I mean, the way the objective system work was quite interesting. The way the cars interact with it, also very interesting.
I do
But
like I do like the late war Leviathan thing of like you have to put this many points in the big stupid tanks.
mhm.
Mostly because people are already converting it to Team Yankee, so we can finally play
I've
with the big main battle
I know
tanks.
I've already written the article. The article's up. Heavy metal, 80s heavy metal. Look up on Break for Assault. I
Good
just put.
read.
Mhm.
Recommend.
Yeah, I mean, I think I worked out 150 points. You could have like seven M1 A1 HCs in. It was like,
Insane.
yeah.
Just think of all the T-62s I could bring.
Well,
I know, that's
thankfully,
the whole point.
yeah, exactly. That's it. I mean, I think the cheapest tank I recommended in the book was to go was a is basically a standard T72 and T64. The
Right, because
T72M at a
certain
push, but I thought that gets a bit spammy at that point.
yes, because certain people could only get those tanks because it's hard for someone like your West Germans or your Czechs
Hmm.
to. I mean, you have the T-72B and like it's pretty solid,
Yeah, it's still quite
but it's
spat.
hard to. Yeah,
Yeah, you can get quite a lot of T72Bs on the table for every M1 A1 HC. So it's a
it's you can still have the really jank. I think it is the Israelis that kind of break that
yes. The
because
Israelis
their
got
tanks are not that expensive in the grand
correct.
scheme.
The Macabre Mark II was the only one class of proper Gen 3 tanks that had the extra BD, yeah, the BDD armor on it effectively. And then
Mm.
for Swedes, I had the Centurion, but the Centurion is quite cheap, and to get 150 points, you have to have at least three formations of it, basically three full strength formations. And that's quite a lot
Yeah.
of them at that point. It's like I say, it starts getting a bit spammy. So it's
So
I think
pick your giant tanks appropriately.
yeah, if you go for
I
like say the
recommend the
four,
T80.
yeah, if you go for like the four big NATO, if you actually go like northern, like Central European theatre and just go the four big NATO countries, the Warsaw Pact countries and the Soviets, it all works quite nicely. When you start trying to bring in for Northern European theatre and the Middle East, you have to start making more and
Yeah.
more concessions, and it just starts undoing the work. But
I have a sinking suspicion we're not going to see Oil Wars 2 this year. Like we
I mean,
predicted at the end, like I predicted at the end of last year.
well, who could have predicted what was going to happen in the world, right? It's always
Let's just say this: they learned their lessons on something. All right.
after the Warsaw Pact book. Yeah, timing.
Yeah, timing is rough.
Dear, but yes. But yeah. So what we finally have. Yeah. Sorry, Mike, what have you been playing recently? Sorry, should we talk about what I was doing Clash of Steel and that? But what?
I've been working like a dog, to be honest. I
Oh,
haven't I have not done much historical anything, to be also perfectly honest. My pile of shame has just grown. I'm still looking for that Soviet VDV Team Yankee box because I want it badly.
Or re-release of it, yeah.
They're never gonna re-release it. They've just determined to spite me.
That's it.
But I think I've just been suffering in various Paradox games in my scant free time.
Yeah, how is unification Australia going?
It's going so badly. I don't understand. Everyone is mad all the time, and I'm like, why? They're like, our standard of living is terrible. I'm like, go work in the gold mines. There's so much money to be made. Go make money in the gold mines. How can the conditions be that bad? I'm not even using nitroglycerin anymore. And of
Dear.
course, in honor of a former guest of the show, Mike Everest, I was like, I'm going to unite Italy. And the Austrians went, no, you're not. And the friend said, we'll make sure that you don't either. And I'm like, oh, God.
Who'd have thought unified Italy would be seen as such a threat?
I'm like, why are the Germans people so mad at me all of a sudden? They haven't even formed real Germany yet. It's the Austrians who are pissed off. I'm like, why? Here I am, the king of Sardinia, Piedmont. And I'm like, can I just please go south away from you guys? And they're like, no, stay, suffer. All right.
Fine. But yeah. But yeah, so we have a new release to talk about, and we have the D-Day compilation and its starter sets.
Mhm.
So we thought we'd revisit the late war starter set tier list.
We've got 4 more, baby. The list lives.
Yeah.
Tier list 2, Electric Boogaloo.
So quick, I'm just talking quickly about the compilation. I've got the PDF of it, and I don't actually have any of the D-Day books. I had the unit cards. I didn't bought the books at the time. I thought, why bother? I had the cards. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna pick up the compilation because it's actually interesting. 'Cause it combines not only the 4 books, but also 21st Panzer booklet.
Mhm.
It throws in a Jagdpanther M18 Hellcat formation, because obviously the model's out since that book came out. And you even got the Sexton added in properly, and the little lurks in the for 9th Panzer. So yeah, it's a interesting little compilation. It's probably if you've got the 4 books, it's probably not worth buying it on that basis. But if you don't have all the books,
But it would look nice on your shelf.
pun?
It would look nice on your shelf.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
keep buying these compilations. Like I bought the mid-war compilations because I'm
Mhm.
like, it'll just be easier.
Yeah.
It'll just be easier.
As a selling point, also, actually, the other thing the compilation has is all the missions from like the specialist missions, like the beach landing,
Yes.
the air landing, the Bocage battles. It has all that in the book as well, which is I was expecting. I thought they'd trim all the missions out, but actually, no, it's all there.
Yeah, last year we played my group played a Firestorm Normandy
Oh,
campaign,
nice.
and we were used like the very first one is we played the air assault missions and the air landing missions, and it was
Hmm.
really cool. My HQ landed next to a couple flame half tracks, and the crews never got in, so they just captured those real fast. And the guy's like, "That was half my strategy." I'm like, "Thank God." And then beach bums gunned down a whole platoon of paratroopers. It was a game.
They make there's some really characterful games, those beach landing and air landing missions. And we in a couple of weeks time we got our big D-Day game we're looking forward to. So that's gonna be like a I know it's getting big quite I've got about 8 players aside now, I think we're getting towards. So
Jesus.
Mike's been building extra beach sections. Literally go from one end of the hall to the other hall. Um,
I can't wait because next time you guys play after all this, he's like, well, which set of beach terrain do you want? The new stuff, the old stuff? You guys are gonna have so much variety in beach terrain.
I know. I think that's it forever. We'll be doing big beach games forevermore. Like, what you can do is put 2 back to back. You get this like big extended river, like doing Rhine River crossings kind of thing.
Finally, the Bagration River crossing rules. Duncan will be pleased.
It's a big old river at that point. But rivers are big, especially in mainland Europe. It's a
Shocking.
thing. Yeah. Surprisingly enough, it is like larger cornerstones of defensive strategies putting around defending rivers for a reason. Who would have thunk it? Um, but yeah, so previously we had a tier list for late war. And Mike, if you want to bring it up and we can just
No,
show people where we
I
got
just want
to.
to talk about the D-Day book really, really
Oh yeah,
quick,
sorry.
or
Yeah.
the compilations, because they're putting out another pack of unit cards, and I think this is very interesting.
Hmm.
They're calling the D-Day Reinforcement Unit Card.
Yeah.
Basically, it's for all the new stuff that didn't have D-Day cards before, and it comes with 3 American cards, 7 British cards, and 22 German cards. And I'm like, this is a balance, all right.
Hmm. I wonder if that's 21 because it's got most 21st Panzer
It's got to be
cards.
the 21st Panzer
Hmm.
stuff. But the Brits, I can imagine, like you're adding in the Challengers.
Challengers. So that'd be, yeah, adding the challengers gives you about, well, 2 different unit cards basically. Because you got the Recce Regiment and you got the Desert Rats ones.
Hmm.
You got the Sextons being thrown in. That's only 3. I wonder what the others are for the British then. Trying to think what else got added. Oh,
It's
Bofors.
there's
So,
have to be half track cards, actual half track cards.
but the Bofors self-propelled gun got put into D-Day as well for the British.
Mm,
Which I always keep forgetting because it's one of those things. It's called a little unit, but you very rarely see it on the table because anti-air is somewhat wasted at this point in the war.
yeah. The preview shows the Hellcat, the Challenger, and the 7.5 SF Hotchkiss. So they've
Yeah,
definitely put the
21st
21st
Panzer
Panzer in
in.
those things.
Yeah. Beware, apparently I missed some new unit. I mean, obviously, lightsaber Lux is in, which is also cool, and the Jagdpanther. So yeah, it's what I wanted to see them do with the compilation, which is add all the units that should be in there rather than just here's literally the books. Oh,
Jag Panthers.
yeah, the Jagdpanthers are in. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I say, they had a well of a time versus the Churchills in Operation Bluecoat. But yeah, they also managed to restrain themselves by not putting the Late War Leviathans in because they got their own book coming. So that was also good. So compared to the mid-war compilations, it's a big step up. It actually sort of like listened and
It fixed the history part of it.
yeah.
Now
And,
tournament organizers can say D-Day compilation book. That's your stuff.
mhm.
Enjoy.
Well, like I say, Eddie's running for like a D-Day themed tournament of warfare this year, and we in Duncan were trying to work at all these lists for how you could do, take bits from the other books that were missing and put them back in. And basically, the book's just done it all for us. The only thing we haven't got are Tigers with Porsche turrets, which we're going to take from the Berlin book, and also we're going to put in Romanian R35 company because Duncan really wanted his Butte Panzer trading company of little French tanks running around, going down 82nd Airborne.
Duncan wants the weirdest things, and I cannot understand. Like,
He's a sucker for a Butte Panzer. He likes those little capture tanks in German force.
he should just play Romanians. He should play other countries. He's like, no, I need all the dumb stuff in the German army. That's why it's good.
I mean, God, let's face it. He plays Iranians and in Team Yankee. It's like he can't do niche countries. But yeah, it's a thing. But yeah. So definitely work at the compilation if you haven't got the books, or if you have got the books. I mean, what I used to do with the compilations in version 3 was I buy the compilation and I'd give away all my softback books to the community and just say, "Oh, you need the Flames of War? You want to do it? Desert Rats? Here's the book. Have it. Have at it. First one's free." Yeah. And
Uh,
another thing to note is if you buy the compilation, you now get a code to get access to all the units on Forces of War.
that
Finally,
is a massive improvement. That is
yeah.
a massive improvement because I know the last time we did it, maybe not the last time we did an episode, but one of the last couple episodes, we were less than kind to Battlefront's changes to forces, and we're like, why are you making this unnecessarily complicated and overly expensive?
Hmm.
Because I remember I did the math, and for me to, who basically owns all of forces, to upgrade to new forces with card printing ability would have cost me something like $200+, and I'm like, this is astronomically outrageous. That was at the discounted rate.
Yeah. But that's not going to happen. But yeah, no, I mean, we've been asking for years, like, guys, just put the code on the book. Say when you buy the book, you get the active forces, and they're finally doing that. It's
Mm-hmm.
good to see. So yeah,
Oh, but
so yeah,
I think it's time to stop talking about the book and
and
start
good tier
talking about the
list.
army deals.
Apparently, everyone saying when watches just for tier lists. Apparently, everyone loves the
That
tier
is
list
what the
concept.
stats have told us.
I
Is interesting episodes with our friends? No, absolutely not. Tier lists and previews or book reviews, because I think after the tier list, our Nordic book with Lexi is up
mhm.
there.
Yeah. I mean, so it's our longest running episode. So it's like
Yes.
we look at a like per minute ratio. It's about the same, but it's but yes, it was I put in the YouTube algorithm. The algorithm loves its tier lists, that kind of thing.
It
It's
does.
but there you go. So
Thank
anyway,
God none of us
yes.
care that much. So let's have a quick review.
We're gonna do like Martin Brundle during the F1. I'm gonna explain how F1 works, even though you've been watching this for 20 years. So
There are significantly worse commentators than Martin Brundle. Let's be fair here.
well, I mean Crofty stands right next to him.
I was thinking of oh no. Oh no. I've blanked on his name. The guy who's never scored a point and gets out there and defends Lance Stroll.
Anthony Davison.
No.
I mean he hasn't scored a point. What in the Sky team?
Uh,
Sky F1 team.
like he's like a second tier commentator. Karun Chanlock.
That's okay, yes, yeah.
Karun is the worst. I'm sorry if you watch Karun. Like, stop defending Lance Stroll. Stop
Also,
saying that Pierre Gasly should deserve penalties for being blinded in a terrible rainstorm. Your takes are trash. Stop it, Karun, please.
I mean, if Cahoon, Cahoon, God. If he
Karun.
also watches does wargaming, that'd be a hell of a crossover. I'm gonna be honest. I would get him on the. I want if you're watching, contact us. We want to get you on the episode because it'd just be weird. Have an F1 driver on. There you go. Even a second tier one. I'm sorry.
No, he's a second tier commentator, please.
Yeah, about
He's not
third or
on the
fourth tier.
broadcast. He's one of the analysts.
Third or fourth tier driver. Yeah. So
It's hard to.
anyway,
Anyway,
sorry.
the tier list was brought up. So just a refresher.
Mhm.
We have 5 beautiful categories by 2, pretty self-explanatory. Solid starter, good boxes. We recommend them in earnest. There's a couple
Mhm.
complaints with. Flawed choice where Battlefront just hit the mark. They were close, but they didn't quite get there.
Mhm.
Existing collections boosters, because uh, these army boxes are kind of more often than not the most efficient way to buy up a bunch of the new plastic
Yeah,
when
they
the book
work as
comes out.
coherent forces, but as a bolt onto an existing army, they work quite nicely. Yep.
Right. And then like the weird numbers you get don't matter as much because you
Mhm.
you take the 2 half platoons and you make a real platoon out of them, and you only ever want, you know, how many King Tigers does one actually need? Don't bring Fez into this conversation.
That throws the numbers off somewhat. Yes.
And then finally at the bottom we have British starter box, because well, there's been 3 of them and 2 of them are just, to quote the British, the dog's bollocks.
No, that's not the dog's bollocks is good. These are
Oh,
just
it's
bollocks.
what? What?
These are just
What?
bollocks. No, if
This
it's the
doesn't
dog's
make any sense.
if it's the dog's bollocks, that's good because dogs like licking them. They spend all the time licking them. They must like it.
I
If it's just bollocks, then that's bad.
in America, we're like, oh, that's shit. And if we really don't like something, we say that's dog shit. So I thought it was I
No, no,
don't know why I
no,
applied
no,
logic here.
no. You go. You give the same sort of thing. If it's good, it's the shit. If it's bad, it's just shit. And there goes our clean rating. No, just for
It's fine. No one under the age of 40 watches these or plays Flames. It's fine.
God, Harvey Younger. Sorry, we don't mean to exclude.
It's me, the guy who's 33, the youngest Flames of War player in history. I'm kidding. There was a literal teenager in my play group. We've talked about him. He won the the win the box is equal to your height.
Yes,
We talked about this on a previous episode.
we did. Yes, you're right. The mic
Oh,
episode.
God.
Yes. The other mic.
Uh,
Yes.
yes. So
So many mics. So many Harrys, bizarrely. We now have an equal ratio of Harry to Mikes at 3 apiece, which is
oh
so I
my
never
God.
expected.
Oh my God.
Anyway, sorry,
But
deviations. Yes.
right, I'm gonna have to do terrible things to a Harry. I gotta get the mic superiority back on track. Um, so we have 4 new boxes. We've
Mhm.
got a PanzerLehr box. We've got a 21st Panzer box. We have a second Armored Division and the 7th Desert Rats.
Yep.
So which one of these? I think we should save the Brits for last, just to see if they wind up in their special category.
Yeah, will they actually get somewhere for once? Yes.
So which one would you like to start with, Lee?
Let's start with one of the Germans. Let's start with
Okay,
let's PanzerLehr. Go PanzerLehr.
PanzerLehr. Okay, so let's just flip over to the Battlefront website. Here we go. So we get an armored Panzergren company,
Mhm.
got an HQ, couple full platoons. They don't skimp out on the Panzer Shreks.
No,
Uh,
it's good to see.
4 Panzer IVs,
Mhm.
3 Nebs, and two, excuse me, 2 Flak half tracks.
Yeah. So mostly plastic, apart from those half tracks, which are resin metal.
Yes,
But to
and
be
I think
fair,
they sell them in twos.
yeah, I
So
think
it is in fact a full box.
yeah, and they're interesting because they're a bit of a hybrid because they're a resin body, metal tracks, and then the plastic 2 centimeter sprue is then used for the actual gun on the back. So it's all three materials.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I've never built any because I went, oh God, resin and metal. And I
mhm.
stopped thinking there and then. Also, Whirlwinds exist.
Yeah, not on D-Day though. Bit too
Oh,
early.
you got me there.
But yeah, it's so how many points does that all come to? I think this points here. I know you've done some of the maths on this.
Oh,
You have done the maths on this. This is your prep.
I,
You
I,
were
I
doing this
have,
yesterday.
I do. I just forgot to open it all.
So it's our prepared level of preparedness.
Yes. Let me just stop sharing that really quick as I
Mhm.
as I came from work. I get some slack here. Uh,
You were caught by the LA traffic.
I
Yes.
was in fact.
But this is because we're literally talking about it the other day about, it must be all right getting back at lunchtime and go, no, you got lunchtime traffic. And there you are. That's the example.
View force.
It's fine. I can post edit
I got
this.
it right there. Okay, here we go. So
Okay.
I did point it out the way Battlefront says, and I did add the Panzerfaust because who takes Germans without Panzerfaust? So,
Hmm.
solid 20 points. I believe they put them down as 18 on here, but again, even with 3 Panzer Shreks, uh, an extra 7 Panzerfausts theoretically is real good. The tank hunters soak up a bunch of points.
Hmm.
Uh, 3 more Nebs because they always seem to give you Nebs, and the couple flat guys. So it comes out to a total of 78 points as I've statted it.
Yeah.
76 if you build it exactly as Battlefront has put it on the cards here.
Yes. Obviously, clearly not taking the Panzerfaust for some reason, which is just weird.
It because they spent 6 points on Panzer Shreks, obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean, which is about 4 points per platoon more or less what I would spend on Panzer Shreks, but I think one extra one is generally worthwhile. After that, it's diminishing returns. But yeah, it's a good little force. It's a solid core.
Yeah, because you have you know
Yeah,
you've got a little support, you got a little dual purpose AA because AA units are always good at just gunning machine gunning infantry to death and
yeah.
taking out scout cars.
Yeah, that 2 centimeter will slice through universal carriers and that kind of thing. Apex
Hmm.
predators. Panzer IV is a solid enough. It's basically the same stats as a Stug, if I remember rightly. So same gun, same armor ratings. Um, so it's a solid, like say, little tank destroyer. Yeah, front armor 7.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
It
that's
then goes to don't go to 9 to become Panzer 470s, basically. But that means their cross is 3 plus rather than 5 plus you get on the Panzer
yeah. So
470. It's
these
solid.
are your favorite flat panzers you can actually get places.
Yeah. I think there's scope for expansion here. I what
Let's just see what we're missing in the
well
actual Panzer Grand Force, which is
the
well
Panzer
everything.
yeah, so the problem we got here is having both platoons mounted is probably a little extravagant.
Actually,
Uh,
wait a second. Are these the right half
but
tracks? Did I put these in the wrong spot? Oh yeah, I did. So
yeah,
the half
they can
tracks
be
go in
they
here.
can be information, yes, but it's fine.
Okay, I stuck them in support mistakenly.
No, but that does help bulk out the formation, which is good.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember what's on the half track sprue, what variants you can build at half track. Because if you can build the mortar ones, or even better, the stummels, then I'd
So the
be
stummels and the mortars come in the same box. The flamethrowers are a resin plastic
yeah.
hybrid monstrosity because the flamethrowers are just a couple metal dudes they put in.
Hmm.
Uh, I I'm trying to remember if the actual it might all be one kit,
That's what I'm
or
just
at the
trying to look
very
up now.
least, the kit that builds the mortars and the stummels is just a little extra sprue thrown into the box of just transport 251s.
Yeah, so you might be able to buy that sprue off eBay or something. Because if you can get that, then
I mean, like you should always bring mortars. You should always bring stummels.
yeah,
Stummels are worth their weight in gold. You could add
okay.
grills to
So
get some artillery in here too. Like the Panzergren Company is the armored Panzergren Company is a solid formation.
I'm happy to report the
Mhm.
sprue does come with the stummel bits and the mortar bits on it.
Hey, there we go.
Right.
So
So what you do is you don't build that second platoon as a mounted platoon. You build that as a dismounted Panzergrenadier platoon, and you use those half tracks to build stummels and mortars. Definitely every day of the week.
stummels or mortars. You we're only talking about saving four sprues, but still,
I mean, four stummels is still. I mean, yes, you can take up the 6, but that's still worth what 4 stummels is still pretty good. It's a nice little fire unit at a push anti-tank ambush unit.
hmm
I mean, definitely, yeah, go for stummels. So that makes that box even better in that place. I didn't even think about the fact that half tracks build more than one version. So obvious inclusions after that, obviously, is to get another box of half tracks to get the stummels at the full strength and get the mortars in. Pack 40s, never a bad move. Um, although some people would say it's sometimes better to go with either long barrel 88s in the force support or with flak 88s, the dual roll thing. I tend more towards the proper anti-tank 88s, but again, that's a easy box to buy, and that probably gets you to about 100 points at that point. And because with the stummels, with the mortars, plenty of options there, I think. So yeah, it's a
I
good little
think so
box.
too. So looking at this really quick and
Hmm?
just want to talk about the costs and savings because
Yes.
Battlefront is selling this for 145 US.
Hmm.
So I went to did the numbers on Battlefront's official web store. You're looking at $15 for the HQ, uh, $50 for two Panzergren platoons because they sell them as platoons,
Hmm.
$80 in half tracks because you need multiple boxes,
Yeah.
$60 for the Panzer fours, $20 for the flak, $30 for the nebs. And then what's cool about these boxes is you get dice, you get objectives, you get
Hmm.
tokens. So the dice and objective are the dice and the tokens. Battlefront sells them in little tin kits for about $25.
Yeah.
And kind of generally going around the eBay prices for the fancy objectives because you do get nice resin objectives here. They go for about $40. So
Hmm.
this is in my ballpark of fuzzy math, $320 worth of value for
Well, hold
$145.
the phone there. It's even better now. I just realized the infantry isn't the standard plastic infantry, it's the old PanzerLehr metal sculpts. That
Ooh.
makes this even better because the old PanzerLehr had the early adoption of what was meant to become the standard uniform, like a Panzer style tunic. So they used to have their own sculpts. So that is very interesting. They got the metal sculpts back in there for the PanzerLehr. This box has just suddenly leapt up my. Ooh,
Yeah, no,
ooh.
I didn't know about the old metal PanzerLehr
Yeah.
sculpts. That definitely shoots this up.
Another thing to worth note is the Panzer IV kit is on the same spur as the Panzer 470. So even if you don't want to do this for D-Day, want this to do later in the war, you can build, get that and build them as Panzer 470s. The Neb kit also builds, if I remember right, the Pak 36, little 3.7 anti-tank gun as well.
So where do we start? Where do we start? Probably with them changing it back to the.
So yeah,
Some technical difficulties.
yes, there'll be a slight jump here. It's got a fair clock in the background, so try and jump along. But yeah, so it's a solid box. Any other thoughts on it, Mike? Before we go to the tier list?
Oh man, because it's. I don't think you need that many Yag Panthers or that many Nebelwerfers.
Well, you can't.
So I don't.
Any of coming units are free, so it's a. Oh, do you mean like putting into buy two?
Yeah, for the purposes of buy two.
Yeah, it's not a buy two box, no.
I don't think it's a buy two box, but you get a full-on Panzergren company.
Mm-hmm.
And again, putting aside all the extra bits.
Yeah.
The fact that it's got old, cool PanzerLehr infantry and the dice and the objectives and all that stuff. Just looking at this purely from plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And technically some metal. I don't think it's strong enough to put in buy two.
No.
There's just nobody needs that many Yag Panthers.
All that much infantry, all that many Nebs. Yeah.
Or that much infantry, yeah. But I think that's solid. I think if you want to get into Germans
mm-hmm.
and you want a heavy infantry German army, this is good. I mean, hell, you combine this with like the tank training company or any of the other German boxes to give you the tanks you want.
Yep.
You are really onto something.
And if all you want to do is just use that box and get to 100 points, you literally need to buy a box of half tracks to get the extra bits for stummels and mortars, and maybe one more box of anti-tank guns, like 88s or so. That's not a big investment on top of it. So yeah.
No. Yeah, no, the flak 88s are still very good. And there's plenty of command cars to also turn them into artillery pieces.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it's a solid starter.
I think solid starter. It's as much as I would like to meme on it. It's good. Battlefront put out a good box.
Not everything has to be a meme. Dear. Anyway, shall we do
what are you feeling
box
next?
Let's try to do the Americans next.
Let's do the Americans next.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So the American box.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a full rifle company with the HQ and two full platoons.
Yep.
We've got a veteran Sherman company, or Sherman company, but Battlefront pointed them as veterans, so I also pointed them as veterans. So an HQ, 2 platoons of 3, add in the Stuarts, a pair of M10 tank destroyers,
yep,
a baby Greyhound. This is only the singular Greyhound. So I'm suspecting, that they don't secretly throw the second Greyhound that normally comes in the box in. And then 4 105 field artillery guns.
Yeah.
So this all comes out to 96 points, which is pretty spicy. I have some complaints though.
So I think I can already suspect what some of them are, but yes.
Well, my main one is that they give you the 105 howitzers. And if they had given you the 105 cannons instead, you could stick that in the rifle company.
Bolster that company up.
And
exactly.
bolster that company up. Did they point these at veterans? They did point the rifles at veterans as well.
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, 2 big blobs of infantry is going to take a lot of shifting, but extra stuff in the formation is always a good thing. So
yes. And then, of course, the pair of tank destroyers. Like, I can forgive cheating you a Greyhound, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's
because it's a cheap recce unit at that point. So it's a shame.
Cheap recce unit. It's an observer. It's veteran skilled. If you're smart, you don't actually ever do anything with them, and it saves you 2 points for not running the extra Greyhound, but the option would have been nice.
Yeah.
The Sherman kit, I'm willing to bet, is just the OG D-Day Sherman kit that builds 75s and 76s, the front armor 6 Shermans.
Mm-hmm.
They won't build you the Easy 8s, they won't build you the Jumbos. Those are different kits, and that's fine.
Yeah, you don't need them. This is all you need. It's all you need. And
the infantry is evergreen because that's the exact same stand for all American infantry, basically, except for the paras.
Mm-hmm. And that same formation will do you everything from Africa through to the end of the war. So really, American rifles don't change much. And it'll do gliders. It'll do use gliders as well if you want to.
It will do use gliders. I also kind of wish that, and we can retroactively apply this to the Germans, is they added new stuff for these factions in the books. I wish we got Hellcats instead of M10s and Yag Panthers instead of Yag Panzer IVs.
The Yag Panthers I can kind of understand because they are quite points intense and it does throw things off a bit. The Panzer 470s are a bit more flexible. But Hellcats instead of M10s just feels like it would have made some sense here. Someone add in to like tie into new releases. It didn't have to be M10s.
I can't remember have to be M10s.
A massive points difference between I think anything with M18s is you really want the full strength unit rather than just two of them.
The M18s are cheaper because they have less front armor than the M10s.
But they're faster. And Battlefront gets weird with point. But I think
it's
they
like
are
a
cheaper.
1 point cheaper difference. I think.
Yeah.
It's not that much cheaper, but they are at the slightest of discounts.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'll say this box is if you combine this with Hit the Beach box and downgrade the Shermans to trained rather than veteran, so you can then use the Hit the Beach box to get your extra Shermans in to get the formation a bit bigger. I don't like 3 strong units with Americans.
No, I think you really want 4 or 5.
I think if you only hit you don't even hit the beach box, even just a box of Shermans, because that'll give you an extra 2 in each platoon, but you get them up to 5 basically in each platoon. Yeah, they have an extra one as an OP tank.
OP tanks. There's a whole rifle company in here to be your observers. Let's be real, Lee. This is Americans we're talking about.
It's a little OTT, yeah.
But the observer is your Greyhound if you really want to be pedantic about it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but it's a decent enough list as it is. Apart from let's say, it could be better. You could put the 105s as a cannon version, put them in formation. But like I said, the formation being 2 big blocks of infantry is fairly good. And it's worth noticing, those are very tooled up platoons, okay? Both got the maximum light machine guns, the extra bazooka.
Yeah, most people just throw in the extra bazooka for a point and call it a day.
Yeah. I mean, the extra LMGs are actually one of those things, if you have points, they are worth taking.
If you have points left over from your build, then the LMGs are a great use of points. It's I'd rather have an LMG stand than a lucky card.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Duncan would probably agree with you on that one.
Duncan thinks that like standing there and going on a 5-minute diatribe is better than using a lucky card.
Yeah.
But just look at the infantry thing, mortars are cheap.
Yep.
57's
and if I remember right,
cheap.
The sprue comes with a 60mm mortar on it. So those veteran mortar platoons it doesn't stipulate whether 60s or 81s. If you click on it.
You have the option. You can either get a trio of 60s for 3 or 2 4 681s for 3 points a pop too.
Yeah, and
the problem is the 60s don't get smoke.
No, they don't. But on the other hand, you have them because they're on the sprue.
Right, they are dirt cheap.
There's 1 per sprue. So if you got all those light machine guns, you must have all the sprues to at least get a platoon, if not 2 platoons of 60mm mortars in.
Just have to buy extra bases, but
yeah, not the hardest thing in the world. Plastic card is your friend. But you can see there the 105 battery we're talking about.
And it's an entirely different thing. It's not like you can leave the gun shield off. The actual gun model is different.
Yeah.
But
some people might try that and get away with it though.
It's the same base size if I remember right. I'm 95% sure it's the same base size.
So if you
sit them down and go, these are the cannons. These are the information versions. I doubt most opponents would would kick and scream at you.
Correct. It's a large gun, so it's gonna be on a large base. I don't think it's a large guns that aren't on a large base.
Right.
And then the 57mm anti-tank gun, also worth putting in if you got some points. You're
Yeah.
probably running out of
then-
points at this point.
You know, and again, just a few more Shermans to bulk out the company, and then of course the auto include armored
Yeah.
mortars for any Americans.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the point delta is between trained and veteran, but I think
Well,
indeed,
when I say veteran armored,
Yeah.
they're in the they're hit on fours. That we were talking American veterans, they're hit on
Yeah.
fours. Their skill is still trained.
whereas
But-
if you go with the standard ones, they are aggressive,
Yes.
but you got numbers. I'm just trying to think if the delta works out that well. I remember at one point thinking the trained Shermans were the way to go.
I don't ever recommend the trained Shermans to new players.
Mhm.
Always start with veteran. Always start hit on fours because they will
so
help
yeah.
cover your mistakes up early on
Yeah.
as you learn some things. But that being said, it's the beauty of Americans is there is no visual difference between trained and veteran troops. So you can, theoretically you could buy, I wouldn't buy two of these because that's too much infantry, but you could buy this, combine it with any other American box or hit the beach.
Yeah.
And have more than enough points to go, here's my giant, regular Sherman tank company. I have so many Shermans, I'm going to shake at you, and it's going to be so many shots because stabilizers and rate of fire 2 on the move.
Mhm.
It's going to get ugly, and that's fun.
Yeah. Would you drop the two M10s in favor adding more 76mm Shermans in that platoon? I think the answer to that is yes.
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer because the
Yep.
76 Shermans are a big blob of the exact same gun.
Yeah.
And
unit of two,
it's cheaper to add two. It's you get 3 of them for 16 points or 2 M10s for 8 points. I think the points, hold on a second.
Well, you got 4 points to spare at this point to get to 100, so
yeah, it's 12 more points. So you could drop those and upgrade to tanks that are, first of all, front armor 7. More survivable. They have the stabilizers. The M10s don't have the stabilizers.
Nope.
Extra machine guns because I think the M10s only have the 50 cals.
Correct. So yeah, it's worth having. I say it's a useful thing to add to this box is more Shermans. That could be hit the beach, which is a lot of Shermans.
It's a lot of Shermans.
Or just even a box of Shermans will add onto there. So yeah, and obviously, like I say, you can then take this list and go into bulge. Swap out some of those Shermans for the super sexy like jumbos and easy eights. So easy eights are a trap, and
yes. So they are selling this box for 160. I'm sorry, Lee. Go ahead.
Yeah. The other thing is you can flip this the other way. You can take this box and go into and use almost all of that apart from the Greyhound in North Africa and do mid-war.
Yeah.
Look, obviously the 76mm Shermans is a add-on to the 75mm Sherman kit, so you can just build all those 75s and use.
It's even better actually, Lee's, because the Sherman kit comes with 2 turrets.
Yes.
So it's 2 full turrets. So you literally just need to pop the turret off and pop the other one on. You get 10 turrets for 5 tanks. So it's not even a conversion. You don't have to magnetize anything. You can put the turret pegs on and it's the easiest swap in the world. I
think with this kit, because this is a cast hull Sherman, their 76mm is a separate sprue that comes with it. Whereas with the welded hull M4A, M4A3, you do get everything on the one sprue. With a cast hull, because originally it was a mid-war kit, it only has a 76mm turret, and you get an upgrade sprue which has the big hatch hull and the turret bits. But you can still build all that. And if you're clever, I think you can hot swap the holes with a bit of jiggery pokery.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
so looking at a quick price breakdown, the whole rifle company will set you back $60.
Yeah.
2 boxes of Shermans will set you back another $80. The Stuarts come in 5s, but we've long since determined that Battlefront is a $10 per tank. Is kind of their price point, at least.
Yeah, but you got the 2 Shermans as well for the HQ, so that still works out.
Right. Well, no, the Sherman boxes come in 4s.
Oh, do they? 4s, not 5s.
Yes.
Okay, right.
They come in 4s, not 5s. So that is
I
literally just 2
apologize.
boxes of Shermans.
Yeah.
So $30 in Stewarts, $20 in M10s. They normally come in a box of 4 for $40, but
Mhm.
what it is. The Greyhound's a little less easy to do the maths on. I just went $20 again, 40 for the objectives, 25 for the dice. The 105s, another $40 for the 4 105s. I came up to, by Battlefront math, $300 in value, and they're selling it for 160. So it's pretty good.
Mhm.
It is pretty good, and no one needs that much infantry, so it's hard to go buy 2. But this is another incredibly solid starter. Is you get
Oh, interesting. I thought because of the
decent amount of
105s and the M10s, you were going to go floor choice, but
well,
it still works. I mean,
it still
it could be
works.
better,
Is
but
the
it still
problem?
works.
It
That's the
could be
thing,
better. Again, the wrong 105s and the M10s being not Hellcats is
Only been 2 of them. Yeah.
is right. Honestly, there only being 2 Hellcats is the biggest thing, but you can always use the 105s in every version of the game. The
Even
Greyhound,
none.
sure, you're stuck to late war.
Yeah.
The M10s, yeah, I'm why did you even give us tank destroyers when you gave us a whole tank company? I don't understand, but
Mhm.
I feel like these gripes are minor enough to justify solid starter, but why do you think flawed choice?
No, but it was just that. I think it's
Mm.
on the line, and I think, yeah, like I say, you could take the box and make a decent army out of it. So it probably goes as a solid starter. It's
I
just
think
on
it's
the
just
edge.
because it's the rifles and the tanks where you've got the core of 2 different armies
Yeah.
in the box, and that's what things pushing this over the edge for me to solid starter.
Cool. Right.
So what do we want to look at next?
Well, he's wanted the British last. It's got to be 21st at this point.
Got to be 21st then. Okay.
Where do we start? Probably with them changing it back to the stupid capacity 2. Why have they done that? Why did they change it? It's a 1930s half track from the French that some dickhead in a workshop in Paris decided to stick some benches in. Why has it got suddenly carrier capacity? Why have I got 18 of them anyway? But that's entirely irrelevant. Why have they not dropped the points on the Rheinenwerfers? They're 12 points. 12 points for a salvo mortar. Oh, wonderful. Oh, glorious tones. Absolutely glorious. What else we got? The mixed recce. Why have they done that? Why? I don't understand. They had 221s. They had 222s. They had 233s. They didn't mix them together. Like, why did they Kampfgruppe? Why do you have to Kampfgruppe it? Why? What happened there? What else have we got? What else have we got?
Models?
Oh, the rules?
Models.
Oh, the models. Oh, God, yeah, why not? Why not? Why not throw them all in the box? Why? Why have they done this to me now? I don't think Phil likes me. I think this is it. I think I must have wronged him in a previous life. I think I was General Custer and he was Sitting Bull or something like that. It was me taking nips out of his arm. I just don't understand what they've done with it at all. It's like they've just completely ignored all the OOB for D-Day. Why can't you take a unit of the 16th Luftwaffe Field Division with them? Because you used to be able to do that, right, in the old rules? You used to be able to take a unit of beach defenders in, like they've done with the Fulsham Club. Why didn't they do that? What? Oh my God, barn doors! Why haven't they put barn doors in? They had them. They've got the model. They haven't sold any of them. There's probably 400 sat in Nottingham right now gathering dust and spiders. What the fucking hell was that all about? I can't believe there's only a dearth of them. They didn't think, oh, hold on, how do we get rid of these barn doors? We can make them cheaper, I guess. No, that sounds stupid. We make them cheaper. But they're materially worse than every other 88 out there. Yeah, they are. What could we do? We could put them in a D-Day book. Oh my God, no, that would please someone. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to make people happy and sell models.
The technical difficulties today. I'm sorry, guys. Little rust we got to work off on the first episode back after a while. But 21st Panzer.
Yeah.
So, Battlefront is selling this for more money. It's $180. But I think we need to remember is that the 21st Panzer is made of metal, resin, and good thoughts.
And spite. No, to be
Maybe.
fair though, these are they say they're remastered, so maybe they are better engineered than they used to be. But
I certainly hope so, but I only know two people who own 21st Panzer Division armies, and they both say they fall apart at the slightest glance.
yeah, and like I had a third
So,
one to that with Nathan, but yes, it's a
oh well. So we've got 7 Hotchkiss assault guns
mhm.
into an HQ and 2 platoons. We've got a platoon of the Panzergrens with the funny half tracks.
Yep.
There's not a they don't the 21st Panzer didn't get special infantry like PanzerLehr, did they?
No, so they basically wore normal uniforms.
Mm.
Big thing to note here with the infantry is they've actually changed it. When this first came up for version 4, the transports were only passenger
Right.
1.
That's
And,
right. You
yeah,
needed 7 of these monstrosities.
and with the exception of possibly Duncan, who actually bought them all and is now raging.
Oh.
This has gone more back to version 3, where they're optionally passenger 2, and you could buy more if you wanted. So it makes it a bit more viable as an army to buy. Unless you like $14 half tracks.
Yeah. A very weird scout troop is included because
Yeah,
this
so
is a mix of the 221s, the
Mhm.
222s, and the 231s, I think, right? Is that what
Yeah,
they call the Puma with the 2 centimeter, the
yeah,
231?
the early 8 rather, yeah. So me and
Yeah.
Duncan were discussing this because they certainly had a mixed battalion with their 4 wheels and 8 wheels. We're
Mhm.
not entirely convinced they ever mixed it at a troop level. So it's kind of weird how they got that mixed in like that. Even in version 3, you used to have the option of having 8 radders or 4 radders, but in their own separate platoons, never mixed. So I'm kind of intrigued that they went this way with it. But it's a cool little unit.
Yeah, I and it's bringing some mid-war models into late war because I know you can get the 8 rad, but the 221 and the 222 I think are still consigned to mid-war only, I think, right?
There's a few lists that use them in late war. They're not standard. Generally, the standard is the Puma, which is different to the 8 radder. The Puma has a
Has a
monocoque
gun on
chassis.
it.
Yeah, it has a monocoque chassis, whereas the 8 radder is basically a converted truck chassis. Um, and then then generally a 259, which is their 250 half track with a turret on. So generally
Love
they
the
are 2 options.
259s. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed, Dave. Those are the only 2 options you used to have, and they've now added this scout troop in, which, like I say, has their older style armored cars.
Mm-hmm. And then we get 6 Lorraine Schleppers
Mm-hmm.
and a Lorraine Schlepper OP. So technically
Yep,
7 Schleppers, but 6 of them are
gun. Yeah,
self-propelled and one's an OP.
yeah. So the
So
OP was missed out on the original version for release. It's good to see it back because it's a cool little model. It's a very funky looking thing.
right. So
Yeah. So
I Forces hasn't updated, so I did the best I could
yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
kind of pump all this stuff in. I'm missing the scout troop, but this does come around to like 58, 59 points. I
Yeah.
can't imagine the scout troop being more than 3 points.
I think it is 3 points off the top of my head. Yeah.
Um, the platoon is weird, because I picked the smaller platoon, so I should probably switch this over to the bigger platoon.
Yeah, if you put it over, it's like I think it's slightly less points with their 7 stands, but only 4 half tracks. But just put that in for now.
Yeah.
Obviously, put the
Uh,
Panzerfaust on.
right. So we saved that. So 63, 64 points.
You probably reach about 65 points. Yeah, by the time we got everything in there.
So
I mean, so one of the things I'd probably say is I know the box says 6 Lorraine Stepper 105s. I'm hoping
AA
it
and some
comes.
Rheinwerfers.
Yeah, I'm hoping it comes with the Rheinwerfers in the box, are they?
No, no Rheinwerfers in the box.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, I'm hoping that the ranged leopards come with both the 105 and 155 barrel. Because then,
I believe they do.
yeah, so it's
Actually,
probably better to build them
let's
as
take
free, as free 105s and free 155s. Unless you really want to be re-rolling misses.
I mean, we're doing this live. Well, actually, you have to build them differently because the formation is a
No,
black box of 75s
yeah,
and a black box of 105s.
I'm talking about the ranged leopards, not the Hotchkiss.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm talking about the actual schleps. Yeah, so it does come
Yeah,
with,
it's the 15 or the 105.
yeah, so
So
they've got it in the box as being one unit of 105, 60 105s, but I'd probably go with a unit of three 105s and three 155s.
just to
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, you there is slots for both. Okay,
yeah,
I
you can
just
have both, yeah.
I just slapped them all in as 105s because I am a fool. But yeah, no,
Well,
splitting this
well, to
up
be
into
fair,
two batteries is
that's
way
what the
better.
box says it is. It's a battery of six, so yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's a point difference between them, but
Let's just do some quick maths here. We'll do
yeah.
this live.
So it's
So 11
11.
points for the 15s.
Mhm.
And I've gone past it. 8 points. So we squeeze another 3 points into this list doing that. So
Yeah.
we're pushing 70-ish. It's not a lot of points.
No. You
But
have to
then
have
again,
a
this is a box full of very particular stuff.
yeah. You have to have a unit of 7.5s and at least one unit of 10.5s. You could add a third unit in there of either 10.5s or 7.5s of the actual subbuck guns. You probably want to do that because these things are glass cannons and you really want to have the extra firepower.
Yeah, you want to put the AA, you want to put the Rheinwerfers in, you want to put the assault guns in.
Yeah.
And I think they cap out at threes. Yeah, they're 2 or 3 strong platoons. These are fragile.
Yeah, they are. They're really tricky to use. I mean, Nathan is certainly one of the best flames war players we have in the local Brighton area, and he's never really managed to make these work very well. I mean, Martin is now taking the challenge up. He's apparently going to buy a box and is going to try it.
The absolute mad lad.
I mean, he won warfare with a standard Finnish infantry list. No weird T26 King Tiger combos. So if anyone's going to make it work, it's probably been Martin. So we'll see how that goes.
But I think you go with the 7.5s because the 105s are self-propelled guns.
Yeah, can 105s bombard? I can't remember.
The 105 long-range schleppers can.
Yeah, can they Hotchkisses? Or they just direct fire?
I'm sorry, the Hotchkisses. The 105 Hotchkiss can.
Yeah, okay.
Bring it up, yeah.
Yeah. So potentially there's quite a lot of
firing.
templates downrange.
This is a comedic amount of templates because you've got 9 self-propelled guns in 3 templates if you jiggle the numbers around correctly.
I didn't like say the Rheinwerfers, why don't you? Because it bulks the formation now. That's an extra template.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, if you're going to do 21st Panzer, this is definitely the box you need to buy. I'm going to put that caveat straight there. It's a very big caveat. If you're going
to have to know what 21st Panzer is, and you have to want to do 21st Panzer.
But if you want to do it, the saving you get on this box makes it worthwhile.
Right. Because all of these vehicles are $14 a point, or a vehicle. They sell these vehicles individually. So each single vehicle is going to set you back $14.
Yeah.
It is an incredibly brutal army to collect. Just absolutely wallet destroying.
Yeah. And it's all that, and it's like say, it is a very hard army to use. So you really have to.
It's kind of worse than any other German army is also the thing.
Is
all this equipment is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad French equipment. These half tracks are not good. These assault guns are not as good.
Your infantry move quicker than the half tracks. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But in terms of character, there's no German force outside of DAC that has as much character as 21st Panzer. So I'm not going to dissuade you from buying this. It's definitely something. I think it's one of those things. I feel everyone should have a 21st Panzer Force at some point in their life. Um,
I don't put that evil on people. Mm-mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Nope.
but so where we put it on the tier maker, I think
This is a rough one because my gut is British starter boxes. I'm like, bro,
it's a British star box. But if you go do 21st Panzer, it's a solid starter. That's the thing. It's kind of
that is true.
it's the dichotomy of man in a starter set form. It's it's
I got distracted. Doing the math,
yeah. Sorry,
Battlefront
yes.
sells this for $180.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bore you saying, okay, so this many vehicles at $14 a pop. By my fuzzy maths, to be fair, it's like $380-ish dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And this is fuzzy math, and they're selling it for 180.
Yeah.
Plus you know, the destroyed Lorraine Schlepper objective
It's
is
really cool.
The crash Typhoon is very cool.
My favorite objective. Easily my favorite objective.
I think I kind of want to say that the British oh no. The British and 21st Panzer objectives are cooler than the PanzerLehr American objectives, but they're both very good.
Get the dice, get the markers.
You get the dice, you get the markers, but this box is madness. It's absolute madness. I think just because of the insane monetary value and savings, I'm willing to compromise on existing collection booster.
Oh, I was gonna go floor choice. I think because of the saving, it pushes it to air. But we'll go with that.
It's just, if you're like, I want to play Germans, do not buy the 21st Panzer box. Do not. You have to
don't
know.
do this as your first force. Really,
never start with the 21st Panzer. Please, just don't. We want you to stay in this hobby. Do not start with the 21st Panzer. It is brutal.
It's up there with
absolutely and utterly brutal.
Up there with a Team Yankee British box as being the thing that you don't give to a starter.
No, never tell a new player that this is what they should be playing.
Yeah.
It is unhinged.
Okay, saving the best for last.
The best for last.
British starter set. Is it a British starter set?
Wow, we gotta build up to that, Lee.
I know it's a question, isn't it?
So we've got the Desert Rats again.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the one time where they've repeated formations, because for the PanzerLehr, the D-Day German box was a Panzer IV company.
Yeah.
For the Americans, it was a Sherman company, but it didn't have the rifles in, so it was a little harder to compare and contrast. You did get a platoon of armored rifles though, and that's really good.
Yeah.
But for the 7th Armored Division, obviously the Desert Rats, they did the exact same formation again.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it's one of those flavoursome British formations. It's all Cromwells with Firefly stuck in.
Yes.
You could have done a Sherman formation, but I mean, I don't get it wrong. I'm a 11th Armoured boy to heart, so Sherman's all the way. But the thing, if you're going to describe a British unit for D-Day, if you're not doing Paras, it's 7th Armoured, really. The whole Villers Bocage battles is just a thing, but yeah.
Fair enough. But in the box, we get Cromwell Desert Rats, 2 Cromwells in the HQ, 2 platoons of the max out troops, 3 or no. Can you get 4 Cromwells in a Firefly?
No, so it's always maxed out 4 tanks. So it's either 3 Cromwells, 3 Cromwells and a Firefly, or 2 Cromwells and a Firefly are the options. Okay. I think.
So 2 maxed out Cromwell troops. The motor platoon, which one of the changes is you don't need the weird command card to give them half tracks anymore. The motor platoons, you can just, it's all on the card now, if I remember correctly.
Possibly, yeah. I'm gonna look quick.
At least that's how it was, if I remember the book correctly.
I'm gonna quick look. I must admit that it might be a change. It might be a change I just missed, because it's one of those. That's what I read about reviewing the book. Is there always like small changes that you just sort of go over because you're going, oh, Jagdpanthers, M18s. You sort of miss the devil in the detail stuff.
So while Lee's looking that up, I'm pretty sure this has been an update where it's like the Americans, where it's like, okay, well, the half tracks are part of it, or maybe it's more like the Germans, where you just pay points for half tracks, and it's all part of the same thing.
Have points more travel.
The pair of Crusader AAs.
No, right. So certainly the motor platoon for the
Uh-huh.
length armored is just infantry. There's no half tracks built in.
Hmm.
So I presume they have just taken the car. I'm just going to Desert Rats to make sure Desert Rats aren't the same. Yeah, Desert Rats are the same. So in the book, you still have to have the command card for the half tracks.
That is unfortunate.
Well, it's obviously building it in, so that's fine. I think the
So
big problem you got with British ones is they're unarmed. They don't have them.
they are unarmed. You have to pay more You have to pay points for the half tracks, then you have to pay points to put the 50 cals on them.
Yeah.
And they want way too many points for the 50 cals.
1 point per half track is just crazy. I have no idea what they were going on when they decided to go that way.
A point of 50 cal is astronomical.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
But anyway.
If it was like half a point, then people might be starting to think about it, because 50 cals are worth their weight in gold, but
yeah,
a point per is nuts.
1 point for the platoon, maybe. It's like...
Anyway, how many points is it for the half tracks themselves? A point for the platoon?
It's a point for the half tracks, yeah.
Right. You get the Crusader AA, you get 4 sextons, and what's interesting is this is the actual new sexton kit.
It is, yes.
This is not the Shermans with the sexton card like they originally sold it. So they did do the update for this box.
Correct. So it used to be you bought priests at 16 points and you downgrade them to sextons at -2 points, which got them to 14 points, which were the same cost as a £25 at that point. In Bulge, British, they were actually integrated unit and were 12 points. They were cheaper than a total £25. And what they've done now is they've basically taken the Bulge sextons and put them in the
shove them into D-Day. Yes.
Yeah. So they are by far the cheapest self-propelled gun you'll get in the book.
4 of them for 12 points is a steal. And of course, the Sherman OP.
So it's OP. Just to check in. So how many points is that motor platoon with the half tracks?
On
the box. It should be.
Sorry. 6 points.
Interesting. Okay. In the Bulge book, the Black Ball motor platoon with infantry at 6 points, and it's 7 points with the half tracks. So for some reason more expensive. I don't know why.
Well, here's the thing: is remember that these are the Desert Rat infantry.
Of course. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. That's
so
why.
Their stats are bad.
They're reluctant. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
That's what I'm missing. Yeah.
So, but looking at what's in the box, and as close as I can get here, subbing in. So the priests are going to come. This is actually 2 points cheaper because we talked about the sextons.
Yeah.
So this is 66 points.
Yeah.
Now, you might be thinking, oh, Mike's going to complain about the 2 Crusader AAs. That's not true. It's a unit of 2. It's always just 2. My complaint is, why not the Challengers instead of the Fireflies?
So, this is what we were debating this, weren't we? Obviously, Challengers, new kits, new shyness. It makes this box work for doing an Armoured or Guards Armoured Division. But the thing is, though, if you're doing Desert Rats, you kind of have to have the Firefly. It's like the distinctive thing about the Desert Rats is Cromwells and Fireflies. They had Challengers, but I think I'm trying to think if it was all of the units or just the Armoured Recce regiments had their Challengers. So really, I can kind of understand why they didn't do Challengers in here. Because if you're going to say Desert Rats, you kind of expect it to be Fireflies rather than. But as you know, from a game point of view, the Challengers are a far better option to pair up with the Cromwell.
I mean, they can keep up, so you don't have to abandon them.
Correct.
This is my big problem with the D-Day British is the Cromwells are faster than the Fireflies. You do this thing where the Cromwells dash at top speed, then stop and fire 2 shots, and then they dash again, and then you either slow down your Cromwells to keep the Firefly in command, or you abandon the Firefly somewhere. And now it's out of command, so you're taking the penalty to hit with that 14-pounder you desperately want hits with.
Mhm.
You're vulnerable because you can't pass off the hits
Mhm.
to the Cromwells like you could with the Challenger, because the Challenger is speed 12 and can keep up. So I think adding the Challenger to the Cromwells is very good.
Mhm.
I think the base concept of the Desert Rats armored company is kind of flawed because of the differences in speed.
Yeah, I get all that, but ultimately, I think it's a visual thing. If you're going to do Desert Rats, you have to have the Firefly.
I mean,
But
the Firefly
Mhm.
Sherman is very iconic and very good looking. It's a great
Yeah.
kit. But purely from a gameplay perspective, it's always sat wrong with me.
Mhm. Oh, absolutely. I get exactly what you're saying from the gameplay perspective. And the nice thing is, this is really easy to do. What you just do is you buy yourself a box of challengers, then you have both options. You can have like
Right, yes. There's definitely room to grow because
Mhm.
only 66 points. What more can we stick in a Desert Rats Cromwell squadron?
So the
More
Stuarts,
Cromwells, okay.
or they also got Stuarts for
And some
Recce.
Stuarts, yes.
Yeah. Like I say, the Crusader AA troops are a really handy little unit. It bulks up the formation for a very cheap cost. And it's it's got like paired 2 centimeter autocannons. It can shred half tracks and stuff like that. It's a good little unit for the points.
Right.
But yeah,
It's
add the
nice that they put the
Stuarts.
new Sexton kits in,
Yeah,
but add some
definitely.
Stuarts, buy another box of Cromwells
And a box of challengers. Or
and a box of Challengers, and you're sitting pretty good.
you're getting to about 100
You
points at
could
that
buy
point.
a
Yeah.
second box of Stuarts because you can move the black boxes around. You can run 2 Stuarts
Mhm.
and 3 Cromwells, and that's probably pretty good. You've got some infantry that can do infantry things, hold objectives, be annoying.
Yeah, because it's a port, I'd almost get to the point where I'd want a full size rifle platoon and not bother
Yeah,
the half tracks. I'm trying to remember if you get enough infantry on the sprue to do that. Probably, possibly not.
the
But if
thing is that they only give you the small.
yeah, but obviously that would
I'm
be
sorry, no,
because
this is just the motor platoon, right?
yeah,
There's no size in the motor platoon, is
the
there?
plastic. It's a plastic infantry sprue. I'm just trying to think if one sprue builds one platoon. If you got enough bits on that to do like the extra 2 stands you need for a rifle platoon. A rifle platoon is 6 stands and they're bits. But yeah, I mean it's a foundation to build upon. It's
Yeah,
a
it
good solid
is.
start to it. If you
It's does
This
what
is
it
what I
says on the
recommend.
tin, which is Desert Rats.
Yep. It's a kind of this I recommend to a new British player. I want to get an army. I want to do like something iconic. Right, get a Desert Rats box. Start off with that, and it'll work. I mean, the only thing with Desert Rats is they do take a little bit of knowing how they play because obviously they're a reluctant veteran, but careful. They remount on a 4+ or 3+ because they got cautious, not stupid, and protect ammo. So they're tougher than say a Sherman list, but they're not as tough as they could be by being true reluctant.
Right. Well, since they gave us the direct comparison here,
Yeah.
here's the old British starter box.
Right.
So obviously, fewer Cromwells. You're 3 Cromwells short.
Yep.
You get some Stuarts instead
Of
the thing. A lot of points in this. It's 96 points, but a lot of points are sucked up by these Crocs.
Which is what you naturally pair up with a Cromwell squadron. It's a cool unit in an infantry force, but in a Cromwell force, it's a little bit
Some 25 pounders.
not bad. Yeah.
Not bad, not fantastic either. They
No, the
are
Sextons
expensive.
now. No, the Sextons are in. It makes unfortunately it makes the toad guns a bit redundant. Unfortunately,
they can't be pinned, and they have machine guns, and they have an armor value.
and they're 2
Like the
points cheaper.
Sextons blow 2 points cheaper. Sextons blow 25 pounders out of the water. I'm sorry. A pair of M10s, you want more than 2.
Yeah.
If you're doing this, you want at least 4 of them.
Absolutely.
Most people will tell you need 8 of them. The para platoon is too expensive. I prefer a rifle platoon.
And also, it's a really odd thing to pair it with Desert Rats. As well. I know when the box came out,
Yeah.
I was a point. Why would you do that? Not the infantry blister.
Hmm.
We have a
And
hard
then
plastic infantry. It's just
3 universal carriers.
a little redundant, given you got the Stuarts and they're not in formation, so not really bringing much to the party.
Right. Compared to this one, obviously, the Crusaders are nice. The
Yeah.
Cromwells are all the Cromwell formations are a bit beefier.
Mhm.
Obviously the Sextons are much better than the standard 25s because we just went over this.
Yeah.
The OP is nice to have.
Yeah.
The motor platoon fits a little better than the paras. At least they've got the half track so you can get them places.
Yeah, it's in theme. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not my first choice. I go with a rifle platoon, but as a choice put in there, I prefer it over paratroops, put it that way.
Well, it's on theme because these are Desert Rat motor platoons. And obviously we stuck that original British box down here in the sad boy zone.
Which I still think was a
with
little unfair on it. It wasn't that bad.
I so hard disagree. I'm sorry. I'm gonna die on this hill of 2 M10s, bad artillery.
You wash your mouth out. £25 is not bad.
They're towed guns and they're expensive.
They are. Well, hopefully Dynamic Points goes back and fixes that and make them the same points as Sextons at least.
We'll see. The paras, which are incredibly hard to use.
Yeah.
Incredibly fragile.
Yeah. All right, fair play.
Company.
Fair play. It is a bad box.
All this stuff is nice to own. This
Yeah.
is what sank it all the way to the bottom here.
The weak formation, yeah. Whereas now we got a much stronger formation. Yeah.
The formation is much stronger because your actual meat and potatoes are much tougher.
Yeah.
Now,
yes,
two Crusaders is not as tough as 4 Stuarts,
Mhm.
more or less, but you're also not throwing the Crusaders out in dumb places like you would the Stuarts.
No. One thing you can do, I just realized, if you wanted to take a bit of risk, you could take a Cromwell out each of the troops and take the OP Sherman and build a Firefly and get a third and get a third platoon
Get a third. You could squeeze that. Yes, that's definitely a thing you could do.
Yeah, I'm not
Although,
sure.
Does the OP come with the Firefly?
Yeah,
bit?
it's a Sherman V kit, and the Sherman V builds both models on the sprue. And I think it has both turrets. Has both turrets and different hull plates to allow for the blocked over machine gun. So you're not fussed about that. You could use it as an OP model.
So you could definitely do some stuff here and squeeze a 4th real platoon in here.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say 2 Cromwells and a Firefly is a little weak because, as you said, you want to leave the Firefly behind and the Cromwells maneuver.
And it's an absolute disaster if one of your 2 Cromwells dies because now you're taking break checks.
Yeah, if you're going to do that, you've got to go full strength platoons, really. So it's not a great idea, but it is there if you wanted to do it. It's always nice to have the option of doing dumb stuff.
So I will say the burning question is, does this end up in British starter box?
No.
And I think that answer is a resounding no. This is good. Sorry, I forgot about the money. $100 in Cromwell boxes. Crusader AAs, $20.
Yeah.
$40 for the Sextons, $20 for the motor platoon, $40 for the half tracks, $40 for the objectives, $25 for the dice and the tokens. Comes out to $285. And Battlefront is selling them for $145, so about $140 in savings.
Not bad at all, and because you can pile that money into buying an extra Cromwell box and a Challenger box, and you're still coming quids out.
Yeah. So
I think this is deservedly a solid starter.
I think this is deservedly a solid starter. I'm thinking nothing good comes of buying 2 of them.
I mean, an 8-gun Sexton battery is always.
Can't you just run 2 Sexton batteries?
You could run 2 Sexton batteries. The Crusaders would be redundant, though obviously if you have a mid-war army, just chuck them there. But Cromwells and the Shermans might work. You got 2 more platoon boxes, but obviously you have to be playing bigger points to make it worthwhile. You could buy 2. feasibly and make a working force out of it, but only if you're playing a lot of points.
Yeah.
So I think it's a stretch to put it in buy two. I think solid starter is a
I
lot
think
more.
it's solid starter. We're gonna have to rename this thing because now it's a 50-50 split of terrible and solid boxes.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't be bothered to do that. Everyone knows that this was named after the Team Yankee British starter box anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't think you can get the Fortress Europe British box anymore either. So
I mean, the fact is
I'm
still
gonna use those as
overwhelming.
my excuses.
Yeah, I think
To
it's overwhelmingly filled with British starters and one really weird starter set. So I think it's unfortunately it still
a
deserves its name.
5 tank starter set and then 2 just absolutely dreadful boxes.
Mm-hmm. But I think
yeah,
Desert Rats definitely redeems the British starter set. It
the
pulls
anniversary Desert Rat box is so much better than the regular Desert Rat box. I mean, like, Battlefront went out and they gave us 3.25 solid starters.
Mm-hmm.
And again, 21st Panzer is only solid if you desperately want to play 21st Panzers, which I don't recommend.
But if you do,
I'm
solid
sorry.
starter.
If you want to build some and be like, wow, these look so great in my display case, I can get that. I can get behind that. I've never seen anyone play 21st Panzer and have fun. Then again, I've only actually played with one person who owns 21st Panzer. So
I played Duncan's twice with my paras, and I just remember outrunning his half tracks, my paras to get the eject.
Well, was he running the Hotchkiss formation or the Panzergren formation?
I won't say it was a Panzergren formation with support from a few of the Hotchkiss
from the
platoons.
Hotchkins, yeah.
Yeah. I think because they're different units, he had one as formation support, he had 105s and 7.5s, if I remember rightly. But yeah, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
What a cursed box. I am wavering ever so slightly. Like, am I being too mean to 21st Panzer? But as a thing for people who are starting this game,
we wrote this very much for new players. I mean, the existing collections boosters on there really for people who are already having a collection. But this is really looking. Would you give this to a new starter?
Right. Existing collection boosters there is like, if you are interested in this kit, you can come back around later, but this isn't the first box you buy.
Absolutely. And that's just down to not its contents, but the fact it's just a very hard army to use.
It's hard to use, and it's
I
hard to model.
I'm just trying to
imagine a brand new hobbyist also trying to put all this stuff together. Ooh.
Yeah. Battlefront, we're not poo-pooing the box. It's a very good 21st Panzer box.
Yes, again.
We thank you for making it. If you
are a 21st Panzer head, you might even want to buy 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you get 2 full infantry platoons, you get all the Hotchkisses you could possibly ever use.
All the range schleppers you could use. Yeah, basically
more range schleppers than you could ever use, actually.
Silver surplus for a profit on eBay, and you're laughing. Yeah. So.
Right, yes. So again, if you are an experienced veteran member of this community where you know what you're doing with red metal and resin, you know what you're doing in the game, you want to play 21st Panzer, by all means. Great value box. Incredible, the best value in savings of all these boxes.
Do you enjoy cock and ball torture? Here's the armor box for you.
Oh, we're definitely getting demonetized. I'm kidding. We're not monetized to begin with.
We're not monetized. That's what the patrons are for.
But again, if you're here because you're like, I want to know what boxes are good to start this hobby, stay 5 million miles away from the 21st Panzer box. Come back around to it.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot in good conscience tell people to spend $185 on this box when they don't know if they'll like the game or not.
Yeah. Get a PanzerLehr box, do that first, then come back around to the 21st Panzer.
Or there's Hit the Beach, There's the Tank Training Division for Germans.
Yeah.
Or to the Tank Training Company box from Berlin for Germans. That's a solid starter. There's the D-Day, the 2 D-Day German boxes.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say the tank
flawed
training
choice.
company, the tank training company is also quite a difficult army for a new player, but you'll have more fun with it getting blown up.
Yeah, you get the
I think
big dumb
that's what
tanks.
that was our caveat, you know.
Our caveat is like, this is kind of rough, but also you get King Tigers, and
Yeah.
King Tigers go burr. But like Clash of Steel, I would recommend literally any other German starter over 21st Panzer for a new player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even the ones that are already in existing collection boosters.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not Bagration. No, Bagration too, because you get to sit there and go, "Come at me, I will destroy everything you do." There's still glee to be had in.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of high AT vehicles. I'm hit on 5s. Come get me.
Yeah. They're glass cannons, but they're really fun glass cannons.
They're big glass cannons. The cannons are massive.
Yeah. Whereas 21st Panzer are literally glass cannons. Do not drop them. You have to treat these things with kid gloves.
Do not breathe heavily on your 21st Panzer army. Do not use oh my god. And do not use an airbrush on your 21st Panzer army. It will fall apart as you paint.
Clearly, the world of tanks money has not quite yet got to making the Butte Panzer stuff yet, so it's we're still resin metal.
Oh,
but yeah,
it's okay.
So
they'll fix that in early war, where all that Butte Panzer stuff was used mostly.
Yeah, well, the actual Lorraine Stripper as an artillery tractor, absolutely, yeah. So yeah, there you go. That is our tier list updated now with the new starter sets. Will we come back with bold starters? Who knows? Or Bagration starters? We'll find out. But that's certainly it for now.
I am curious. It is a big D-Day anniversary year, though.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what am I saying? It's a big World War II anniversary year.
80th, exactly. So you could equally apply that to doing the bag Russian, for example.
To Bagration, to
Bulge. Yeah. Not Berlin, because
Berlin would be next year,
yeah.
But they could keep pumping out these anniversary style boxes if they wanted. The fact that they announced the D-Day ones at the Christmas and didn't say anything else, I don't know if we'll see more starter boxes like this.
I'm guessing not, because we're meant to be hitting Pacific later in the year, and obviously we have a Team Yankee infantry starter to appear at some point. Now, I mean, I've heard rumors about what's happening in Pacific, maybe slipping or something, but
now maybe they'll put out 2 boxes for the next compilation book.
Yeah, you need it. Let's go start doing the minor Axis allies and do like an all metal finish box. It's going to be Soviets.
I don't think that we're gonna.
Mike, I'm going to point to the fact we have a 21st Panzer box just sitting right there to say that anything's possible at this point.
But the 21st Panzer did a lot of stuff at D-Day.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
They're like an integral part of the story of D-Day.
I mean,
the Finns at Bagration were like, the Finns were technically nearby. We're shoving them in the minor Axis ally Bagration book to just cover the Winter War and all this other stuff the Finnish did. But the Finnish are, I was going to say something unkind, but I'm just going to stop.
No, 21st Panzer very much, I mean, they're the guys who react on D-Day. So it's them reacting at Pegasus Bridge. It's their mods get whacked trying to recapture the bridge during the night. And then mainly their drive to the beach almost drives a wedge between the British beaches. Only gets stopped.
Juneau and Omaha, yeah.
Yep. I thought it was Juneau and Cole. I thought it was between the British beaches. Maybe it was between the American and British beaches. Only gets stopped because the next wave of gliders comes in and the German commander gets worried about getting cut off and pulls back. But you know, the
21st Panzer do a lot in the first 2 days of Normandy.
And after that, get largely attrited out. But yeah.
Well, yes, because their equipment is garbage. But when you have bad tanks against paratroopers, that's still really good because paratroopers can't bring tanks.
No.
Asterisk.
Yes.
Where were the Tetrarchs?
Yeah, oh my god, that's what I missed with the compendium. I hope they might bring it back. They might put.
They were not going to give us Tetrarchs.
We're on the worst timeline, unfortunately. This is the proof of it.
What was the American version? The Locust.
Locust, which again only the British really use. The Americans
Only
never
the
use it.
right, because the Americans are like, actually, we don't like any of this glider stuff.
No.
We're just going straight
Well, that's because
parachutes.
the thing is, though, their idea for getting the Locust into battle was to take the turret off, put it inside,
Yes,
so like
it was a
like
bad
a
design.
Dakota, lash the tank to the bottom of the Dakota,
Yes.
come in, land, set it up. With the British we have a Hamilcar glider. We're just going to land literally the whole thing in one go and drive it off.
Yes, which is why we were like, these locusts aren't going to work, but they'll fit in your gliders. Do you want them?
Yeah.
And the Brits said, yeah, sure, why not?
We're running out tech rocks. Most of them got shot up in the Normandy. Yeah.
Yes. Was there? I have this like memory rattling around that like a locust or a tetrarch actually did a bunch of stuff. I might have been in Market Garden.
So they weren't using Market Garden. My God, if they put in Market Garden, it might change things entirely. So,
I don't know
but
about that.
Tetrarch was used in D-Day.
Mhm.
They basically they land on D-Day. The 6 AAR fight all the way until the Paris get withdrawn in August after breaking out to the Seine River. So that by time there's literally probably only 2 troops of Tetrarchs left, and most of that regiment is driving Cromwells by that point. At the Rhine River crossing, I think 4 locusts get dropped in by either 4 get dropped in, or only 4 are actually operational post landing to actually drive around. And then after that, they're basically drive over the Cromwells, get out of those, throw the keys away, get in the Cromwells, and fight the rest of the campaign in Cromwells. So yeah, but the Locust literally has one very brief moment of glory where literally 4 of them provide a bit of firepower and varsity, and that's it.
Because I knew they were actually used one time where they were actually effective, because the Tetrarchs in D-Day just get annihilated left, right, and center.
Yeah, but they do. But they did what they were meant to. They gave fire support to the Paras, and as long as they didn't face tanks, they were pretty effective. They just couldn't go up against tanks. Another
Right.
time
Or
Tetrarch
Panzer Shreks.
Yeah, another time Tetrarch gets used is in the invasion of Madagascar. It's their first debut, so they actually get used to the light tank.
Wait, what?
I know. You didn't know that one, did you?
I didn't know we invaded Madagascar. When did we do that? When did you do that?
Because it was sitting there looking at us funny.
I didn't say why. I just assumed at some point Monty was like, I haven't conquered any backwards country. I haven't oppressed a third world nation in decades. We got to do something.
So was it a French colony or a German colony? Oh wait, it's one of the colonies that was under Axis control, so we took it.
Okay, there were 3 Germans or maybe a couple Italian guys there, and we're like, time to invade this whole nation.
Yeah. So the Soviets also got given some to assess as a Lend-Lease tank, and it goes, "Nah, we're fine. We're
Shermans,
fine with these.
please. Yeah.
Can some more of those Valentines? You got any more of that any more of those Valentines?
Get any more of those Valentines? Because we have the T60 and it's better than this.
Yeah. What's it? That's probably compared to a T70. The thing to say about it is it's got a 2-man turret, whereas one guy trying to do everything.
Right, and most importantly, the Soviets had no problem building T70s in tractor factories. Like they were up armored tractors. You could, any factory that could theoretically produce cars could produce T70s.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not all those factories could make T34s. So that's why the Soviets never needed light tanks from anybody.
But they like Valentines. They're probably the only people who can actually say they actually like the Valentines tank. So I think one entire factory in Canada was just basically building tanks, and they got shipped through the Arctic over to Murmansk every time. But
I mean, don't the Australians love the Matilda, and that thing's a monstrosity? I mean,
yeah, but when you go against Japanese, that thing's a super heavy tank. It's just
right. And when you're going against the early dregs of whatever they stole from the French and the Czechs and stuff in early Barbarossa, the Valentine is also a heavy tank.
Yeah. I mean, it stops the counterattack dead in France, basically, until the Germans have to get the 88s out and sort of pick them off. But yeah, but that's early war. That's next year's discussion. We'll get to that.
I can't wait to have my super mega impossible to kill French tanks that are broken.
Oh, char tanks, yeah.
Sharpies.
Yeah, Sumas as well were pretty cool as well.
Mm.
Anyway, so that's it. So we're after a 2-month gap. We have now done another tier list. So we expect the algorithm to award us suitably from that.
Or punish us for the long in betweens of releases.
Well, thankfully I put an unboxing video up to sort of find it over in the meantime. There you go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I'll see. As always, I'm gonna hand it to Mike to do his thing at this point.
Oh yes, of course. The YouTube pleasantries. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Because again, my day job just squeezes the humanity and the joy out of my life on a daily basis. I wake up in pain every day at 3 a.m. to go to work.
I mean, I work for the
I'm
military
sorry,
industrial
I
complex.
just
So I should
did
be the one
the
saying that, but it's just like But yes,
jokes aside.
as always,
I am forever sustained by it. I can't even do this bit anymore. The stare off in the distance broke me. I can't do this.
1,000-yard stairs going, yeah.
I do a pretty good one though.
Well, from bitter experience, I suspect. But yes,
It was in the army.
God. But anyway, come back soon. I mean, I'm trying to think what will be next. What will be the next out? Well, I know we need to revisit some of the tier lists. We were talking about getting Duncan on to talk about air power.
About air
Duncan,
power.
air power, Gosling. And he's just sitting there going, "But I like aircraft."
The rest of us go, no, you're wrong.
Yep. And then we also need to go back and do some more of the Team Yankee stuff. We're about to doing the M113 rank tier list at some point.
Oh
So
no. You have to do the research on the 113s. I refuse.
I got my list.
I did the stupid cars.
I already give you a
Thank
list.
God.
There's so many. There's a lot more M113 variants you realize in this game. But yeah, so stay tuned. We shall be back soon, hopefully, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Very important signage, because this is exactly what you need to do with your 21st Panzer. Is exit it from your box and turn it into a smoking pile of lead.
And there's a secret. And there's a hidden track at the end of the episode.
Exactly.